Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Bobby Miner,
And I'm Cary Miner.
and together we are the owners of Cary's Creations. We've been doing cakes here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for over 20 years. And I say we, I don't really do the cakes. I do a lot of other things. Cary's the one that's been doing the cakes.
I do the cakes.
Yeah. And if you don't know, Cary appeared on the Food Network on Cake Wars Season 4, Rugrats 25th anniversary. She is also the author of the book, Cakepreneur, the ultimate guide to starting, building, and growing your own cake empire from home. And what we're going to be talking about today is if we were to start over, if we started January 1st, 2025, with zero experience, but knowing what we now know, what would we not necessarily do differently, but what would we do to start building our own cake empire and how to make money as quickly as possible? So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yes.
Because how did you start, Cary?
Oh my gosh. I started by taking a course at Hobby Lobby. And it was just something that I wanted to do to help contribute a little income to our family because I was a stay-at-home mom and I had just had my son Julian. And I was like, what can I do to be able to be a mom to my baby and still help the family out?
Yeah. But let me be clear. She had zero baking or decorating experience. She almost didn't even graduate from her class because she had postpartum meltdown. I don't know if I can say that. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but it's the truth. And luckily I jumped in and saved the day. That's a story for another video.
Yes.
But so anyway, we're just going to talk about, these are a few things that we would do if we were starting from ground zero. But knowing what we now know over 20 years, because when we started, literally, Cary had a business background in the sense she had a lot of customer service experience. I had a business background in sales and marketing, but in regards to running a cake business, like we had no idea what to do. And so it literally was, we just had to figure everything out on our own through trial and error. And there's a lot of error, there's a lot of trial, but here we are still after 20 years going strong. And so the first thing that we would say that we would do is like master the basics first. And I'm going to say this real quick, and I know I'm talking a lot. They want to hear from you, not from me. In this day and age,
he is the talker.
Yes, I am. In this day and age of social media, TikTok, Instagram, and you see all of these really cool videos where people are doing these decorating videos and all sorts of things, it can be tempting to try to just jump in and think that this is what I have to do if I want to make money selling cakes. And that is not true.
Absolutely. That is not true. What you want to do is, like he said, master the basics, get your recipes down. So if you have recipes that you already have that you're wanting to try out and see how those work for you, absolutely. But if you don't have any experience, I started out with box cakes.
Don't say it's true. It is true. But not just box cake.
Right. Now, it's not just box cake. Make sure that you're zhuzhing up your box cakes. Add ingredients. Go in there. There's a book that I had that was called Cake Doctor. And it was all about doctoring cake box mix.
Box cake. She does this every video. She says cake box.
Let
me be clear. The cake box is what we put the cakes in when we go to deliver them. The box cake is what you use to make a cake.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Box cake. I don't know why I have trouble with that, but I do. But anyway, so yeah,
You're saying it in Spanish. In Spanish, it's backwards.
I think that's what it is because I'm bilingual, so that happens. Anyway, so I mastered that, and a lot of people, it used to blow my mind. Sometimes I would think they're just saying that to be nice, but no, it's true. A lot of people would tell me, like, we really love your cakes. Why aren't you opening up your own place? And they would order from me constantly. So I just know that it worked. So if you don't feel comfortable with scratch recipes originally, master cake box.
Box cake.
Wait, box cake.
Box cake. Now,
box cake mix.
Now, let me say this, because she mentioned something about people saying early on, why didn't she open her own shop or whatever?
Yeah.
To be clear, for 20 years, we have been 100% home-based. We've gone back and forth, especially when she was on Cake Wars. But at the end of the day, Cary's done cakes full-time for the last 12 years, probably 12 years. Yeah. But what we like to call it flexible full-time. That's why we've always been home-based. And so everything we're talking about, the principles would apply no matter what. But we're talking specific to our experience as home-based bakers. So another thing, though, we were talking about mastering the basics, like in our course, and I'm not trying to here to pitch our course. We have an 8-module course, Starting Your Own Home-Based Cake Business. We have one full module that's dedicated to decorating foundations, because these are the things that, and I'll let you speak to this, but if you can shape your cakes where they have crisp edges, you can cover a cake in buttercream where everything's smooth. You can cover a cake in fondant. You can cover a cake in buttercream with rosettes, and then you can stack a multi-tier cake. You can do a lot of cakes.
Absolutely.
And so those are what you would say, aren't you saying like those are the basics?
Yes, those are definitely the basics. It's what distinguishes you from a professional baker versus a hobbyist. So those basics are so fundamental, and trying to rush the process is not going to do you any favors, because you might get, one or two people that want to, but you're not going to get a steady stream of business coming in.
Yeah. And resist the temptation to try to be everything to everybody, and just tell people, no, look, like I've just started out, be honest. But because worst thing you could do, this, like you've probably heard the saying, bad news travels way faster than good news. You do a whack cake, and I don't know if that's even something that people still say these days, but a whack cake, people are going to talk, okay? And you don't want that to happen. So just start slow. But we're going to also talk at the end about some ways that you can make money really quickly while you're mastering your craft. But the second thing that we're going to say that you should do if you're just starting out, we would do, is just really like practice relentlessly. Like you have to get better. That the only way to do it, the only way to grow a cake empire from home is to practice.
Absolutely. You have to practice. And I could even tell when it's been a while since I've made a cake, even today, that I don't remember things as sharply as when I'm doing it on an ongoing basis. So practicing is absolutely essential, because that's how you're going to just learn from yourself as you're going, oh, I could have done this way. And sometimes we think in our mind like, oh, I'm going to do this and this. And when you're actually executing it, you're like, whoa, this is not at all what I thought. So practicing is definitely a must. Who better to practice on than on your family and your friends? So if they have an activity, be the one to bring the cake, because this is how you're practicing. And if it turns out great, take a picture, because there you're also building.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
Yes, you're right.
Okay. See, this is
that's going to come
yes,
later.
we're about to talk about that, but I was going to say, so when you're first starting out, if you don't have any sort of clientele or anything, you're going to have to do cakes for free for family and friends, but that can be your contribution. Again, don't.
And it's for free, yes, but maybe not fully free, where they buy the materials for you and you bake the cake. Or if it's somebody that, what, am I getting ahead of?
No, that's what I was going to say. At the very beginning, you may have to do it just free. But as you begin to progress, then it can be like, hey, little Jimmy's having a birthday. I always say little Jimmy. Little Jimmy's having a birthday. You know what? If you buy my materials, I'll do the cake for you for free. So you're really not doing it for free, but you are doing it for free. And work your way up from that. Then from just doing it at cost, then you can say, hey, I'll do it at a 50% discount. Normally this cake would cost whatever. So that's all. You were kind of jumping out. But you want to talk about the third thing is you have to build a portfolio.
Yes.
Hey, I'm not gonna go too deep into this, but this is some of Cary's early portfolio. If you saw some of these pictures, you would say, how does she ever sell any cakes? One of her first cakes was a clown cake, and it literally was a clown cake. But talk about building your portfolio.
That is so true. So building your portfolio is, in essence, what I told you earlier. So if you're doing a cake that is for a family or friend, and try to resist the urge. I know we said practice relentlessly and try to give things away, but be careful how you do it, because then these people that you're giving these cakes for free can later on not want to value your work. So maybe don't do it for the same person over and over. Just maybe do once, twice, and then, start upping what you like. Maybe the first time you do it for free. And then the next time you're going to tell them, okay, so this time I need, or don't say it like this, but just ask, hey, can you pay for the materials and I'll do the work for you.
Don't even say can you, just say, look, you pay for the materials and I'll do the cake at no cost.
Exactly. So say just like that.
That's why we're a good team. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to create a bunch of Costco or Sam's freebie seekers where, like they go during lunch when they have all the food samples and they go and they sample everything, but they never buy it. So
exactly.
You don't want that, because I can be like that sometimes. So.
I think we all can.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's okay. So your portfolio. So take as many pictures. If you do something that you think looks really good, take those pictures, even at the beginning. Like he said, we took those pictures because we thought back then, wow, this looks really good. And now we look at them.
Like, "Ew, how did they pick you to be on Cake Wars?"
Exactly.
No, she
So
got better. She did.
yes, I did. And
From
so
practicing relentlessly,
yes,
right?
yes.
Oh, okay.
And
Anyway,
you're going to keep interrupting.
go ahead. Good. Sorry.
All right. So yeah, take your pictures, and if you think it looks good, take it, because over time, and like he said, how did they ever order from me? Obviously, they thought I was better than them.
No, but your cake
So
tasted good. See, that's
yes,
the thing. If you're
yes,
going to err, if one side is going to be off, your decorating skills can be a little off,
yeah,
but
slightly.
as long as your cake tastes good. But you can't have a dry cake and bad decorating. You'll not. Yeah,
Yeah,
you might have to find
that's
something
the
else to
quickest
do.
way. Yeah, to take yourself out of business.
Yeah.
But yeah, the skills are going to come with time, but your taste has to be there. And then what I was saying was basically like your decorating skills are going to be better than the average person that's not practicing and perfecting their skills. So even if at the beginning they're not the greatest, still keep going. Keep doing it and just keep practicing.
And you can do cakes, even if you're not doing a cake for somebody, you can just practice. Do cakes that you want to do, so that way you can take pictures. You can buy
Mhm,
some dummy cakes. If you don't know what dummy rounds are, they're just styrofoam
mhm,
rounds that look like cake. You can buy a couple of those and practice on those and
mhm,
decorate those. And if you cover them in fondant or buttercream and take pictures of it, like, it doesn't matter. That's what you're doing.
mhm.
But one other thing that I know, because we talked about this, is you have to take good pictures. So get we're iPhone people. If you're an Android person, that's okay. We still love you. We want you to succeed. But in Android, I know Galaxies have some really good cameras. But
Mhm.
like when Cary
I
first
used to
started
be
out,
an Android
yeah,
person.
she was the last one in our family to come
Yes, I
over.
resisted.
But we used to take pictures of the cakes in the refrigerator, and then we started taking pictures of cakes. We had these black chairs that came from my grandmother's house. We would take pictures there, and it's crazy. But now, for the past several years, like, we actually take pictures here on this table with this in the backdrop with panoramic mode, so it's blurred out, and we have a little sign that we put in front of most of the cakes. Oh, portrait. Oh, panoramic. Okay, anyway, box cake. So anyway, but we take really good pictures, and we will take pictures over and over again to make sure that they look good, because again, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And so you want
Mhm.
people, if you're going to go to a restaurant, what do? We go online, we look, see,
Yeah,
we've seen
anything
the
that we
reviews.
do, like we want to see pictures, we want to see testimonials, we want to see what does this look like in a
Mm.
certain setting. So that's very important.
And we didn't mention this when we were talking about practicing relentlessly, but if we jump ahead to like the fourth thing that we were talking about, they tie together. You should also focus on progress, not perfection. And the reason it goes back to practicing relentlessly, when you're doing all these cakes for people, not only are you doing cakes to try to build your portfolio, but you're also doing this to get feedback. Tell them to be raw and real with you. Like, how did this cake taste? Is there anything that,
Yeah, and I know sometimes people want to spare our feelings, but like, how can you get better if everybody's telling you it's great when it really isn't? Like, I would have a friend that she would feel so bad, but at the same time, she said, I really want to give you. And I was like, no, do it, give it to me. And she would tell me, like, the buttercream is a little greasy or and stuff like that. And I like that. And I know sometimes if we think something is really good, sometimes we could get down in the dumps when somebody tells us that, but that's just going to make us better. And it's going to make us find ways to be able to achieve the same thing, but with better results. So,
absolutely. But just embrace it. Like, you're going to mess up. You're going to do bad cakes. Don't let it get you down. Don't let it make you think, oh, I can't do this.
yeah,
You just have to stick with it. You also have to be realistic and then celebrate those small wins.
is exactly. And nobody is an expert from jump on anything. It takes practice, it takes failing a little bit, but what makes you better is that you continue to put your all into this. And if this is something you love, why not? Why not spend the time making yourself better? And I love this. After 20 years, like I teach how to start your own business and all that, but I still want to decorate because to me is an outlet for me to be creative, for me to let out that side of my brain that likes to decorate and be creative.
Yeah, and that's an important thing. Like everything we're talking about that we would do now is from our learned experience. None of this is theory. And we are still doing this to this very day. Just a couple months ago, Cary did, for the first time in 20 years, actually did a 7-tier wedding cake.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like she is very active as a baker and decorator. I'm on the marketing side and business side, like thinking of ways to creatively market and just we want everybody to win. That's why we do what we do. We want people, if this is what your passion is or your calling, like we want you to be the best version of a home-based cake baker that you can be.
Yes, absolutely.
And so, yeah, so just focus on progress, not perfection, and just master the basics. But the last thing that we would absolutely do is while you're learning and growing, you can still create immediate revenue streams. Like you can make money right now. We can show you. And again, I'm not trying to pitch you. I'm just saying the reality is, like, we know we can make money in the first 30 days starting from ground zero.
Yeah, with very little skill.
Yes. And the key is to offer high demand items that don't require much decorating skill, like cupcakes and bundt cakes.
Yes. And those are things that you don't have to be this great decorator or yes, you want to be a decent baker.
Be a good baker, okay,
yes,
decorator. Or
an okay decorator.
Average decorator.
Yes. So those are two great ways to make immediate revenue while you're developing and creating this business that you want to create.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say more about that.
You're the
that's
talker.
why. So like Cary, several years ago, her and a girl that was working with Cary on her cake business that ended up moving. But like we just had this idea one day to bake 100 cupcakes and go to, and I used to be a car salesman, believe it or not, but go to some car dealerships. And just like you have like the taco truck come up, they were the cupcake van because you weren't in the truck. And they sold cupcakes like that. But you think about it, if you bake 100 cupcakes and you sold them for $3 each and you drove around for a couple of hours to office buildings and car dealerships and places like that and sold your cupcakes, that's an easy $300.
Absolutely.
And you do that once a week, that's $1,200 a month.
And these days, you don't even have to do that. Like I think you could even go and put it on Facebook or Instagram. And say, hey, this week I'm going to be doing these flavors and have certain flavors.
Or my flavor of the day.
Exactly. Your flavor of the day. And you
came up with that.
Yeah, he does that on the fly. But yeah, you can do that and say, or even some food trucks, I'm going to be here on this day and go and sell your cupcakes. And that's pretty simple to do.
It is not. Yeah, I don't want to dumb it down, but it really is that easy. And we actually created a resource that we offer when you join our course, but it's called Cupcake Cash. And it's just 7 ways to make money with cupcakes. If you comment on this video, and some of you are going to be listening to the audio only, some are on the video, but just comment Cupcake Cash and I will send you that resource free. Don't want anything for it. And then another thing that Cary and I just created.
And one thing that I also thought, you could even take pre-sales. So you can say, on Friday, I'm going to be doing this flavor. If you are interested, send me how many you want and put your price per cupcake. And there you go too.
And another idea, I literally just came up with this. If you're doing, let's say red velvet is going to be your flavor of the day or flavor of the week. You could also do some mini cupcakes on the side that you can offer as samples. So like people, if they want to taste your cupcake for the first time, have them come by and you'll give them a mini cupcake. So that way they can sample it.
Or sheet cake and cut them up in little bitty pieces.
Or
that's even simpler.
No. Okay. Yes. But since you're selling cupcakes, I think mini cupcakes. I'm marketing and branding. Okay. She's practical. But the other thing is something that we just created. So again, this is not a sales pitch, but we have our course, our 8-module course that we rolled out in April. We've had over 1,000 people take our course. We have an inner circle coaching group that has over 100 members where we answer all of their questions every day. We give them a ton of resources. But in November, we had the idea to do a cake of the month for our inner circle, where we basically, Cary created a scratch recipe for a bundt cake, and we gave that to them. I created social media posts. It was all done for you. Literally, this is your posting schedule, everything, so you can make money with bundt cakes. And we were just doing that for free with our inner circle in November. We had some people that had such success with it that in in December, we created Cary's Cake of the Month Club, where we do all of that. You get a scratch recipe from Cary that ties into that month's theme. Like in November, it was a sweet potato pecan praline cake. In December, we did a peppermint mocha. In January, right now, I think it's a orange cranberry Bundt cake. But anyway, and you can do a Bundt cake or you can do cupcakes with it. It doesn't matter. But we do a scratch recipe, a doctored box cake recipe, just in case you're not ready. All your social media posts, marketing plans, schedule, cottage bakery label that you can edit, everything that you need to be able to literally post, bake, and earn. And we have had one person sell over 45 cakes. And we have lots of people sell 10 plus cakes. And I'm not telling you that to try to sell you. I'm just letting you know that it literally is that easy. But you just have to do it. You have to put yourself out there and go for it.
Yes. Yes. And I know a lot of times it can be scary, but you have to bet on yourself. You have to bet on yourself and take this step and do it. I'm not, like, if you can't tell, I'm not like the most outgoing person, but by golly, I was like, I want to do this. I feel like, I feel like I'm good at it and I'm going to do it. And I kept getting the feedback that I was getting just from doing cakes at the office or for my friends and stuff like that. So bet on yourself and just jump right in.
So quick recap. If we were starting from ground zero right now, we would master the basics first, practice like crazy.
Yep.
Build our portfolio, taking good pictures. And we meant to say this then. You can get like one of those little school project diorama, however you want to say it, and just use that as a backdrop. If you don't have something like us with this really cool clock in the background and all that, but you can make your own background. That's not hard to do. Focus on progress, not perfection, and then create immediate revenue streams. Easy ways to make money while you're learning and building your business. So anything else?
Nope, that'll do it. And just stay encouraged, be encouraged, and again, believe in yourself.
Absolutely. So that is it. So until next time, peace.